Hey, what's up? John Sonnemes here from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got this question from Anna, and Anna is asking whether or not you should follow your teacher or your boss to be successful, or follow yourself. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm not going to read the whole question, but she basically asked this question saying that, you know, your teacher grades you, your boss tells you what you're doing wrong. Should you follow that person or follow their advice in order to be successful? And that sometimes that they have a bias, and that their system of grading or what they think is good is based on themselves and not necessarily on what is true. And I thought that was pretty astute, and that's pretty correct, Anna. So I thought I'd answer this. So Anna, first of all, you know, I think that I don't want to say that you can't learn from a teacher or a mentor or a boss, right? Because you obviously can, especially someone more experienced than yourself. But what I try to do, and what I try to encourage people to do, is to learn from someone who knows more than you, but ultimately in order to be successful, but you know, in the way that I define success, which is living up to your potential, is that you have to ultimately choose for yourself what you're ultimately going to do, right? So you take in the counsel of wise people, right? And you try to find and surround yourself with wise people so that you're getting good counsel, right? In fact, I did this video on not taking feedback, on why I don't take feedback, and you can check that out here. And some people got a little butthurt about that, and got a little upset and said, "Oh, you're so arrogant, and how can you not take feedback, and that's just ridiculous." But you know, the point of it is really this: it's that it doesn't mean that I don't take in counsel and that I don't take in wisdom from other people. You know, I learn a lot. I read a lot of books. You know, I study a lot. I have a lot of virtual mentors that teach me a lot of things, and I'm not afraid to say I don't know, right? A lot of times I don't know the answer to things, but here's the thing: I will weigh. I never allow someone else's judgment or someone else's view of something to ultimately decide my own, right? I'll take in a lot of counsel. I'll take in a lot of different viewpoints and perspectives, especially from people that have been more successful than me, right? Or people that have achieved something that I want to achieve that I haven't reached yet. But ultimately, once I take all that in and I've weighed that all, I make the decision myself, and I have my own judgment, my own faculty. One thing, if you've read Seneca's letters to Lucius, I believe, and I've referred to them before. It's free, right? You can find the book. We'll link to a copy on Amazon here, but you know, you can find these for free online as well. But if you read those letters, one of the things that Seneca says, I forget which letter, is he talks about this idea that, like, knowledge and wisdom, it doesn't belong to anyone, right? Like, you know, you can't steal someone's wisdom or steal their idea, and that, you know, you should read philosophy, right? And you should learn from people, but you should write your own philosophy, and you should be coming up with your own philosophy. And if you're just quoting people, right? Because there's a lot of people that go around and they quote business gurus, right? Or they quote a bunch of people that are famous that have said a lot of things. Or, you know, there's even people who write entire books, and the entire book is nothing original. All it is an assimilation of information from people who are qualified to give that information. They just cite a bunch of studies, they just cite a bunch of people and make a lot of quotes, but they don't have any original ideas in there. And what Seneca is saying in that case is that, you know, if you really want to be successful in life, you can't just be the kind of person who is just quoting other people, right? You have to come up with your own philosophy of life. You have to assimilate all this knowledge and wisdom that you get and come up with your own system, your own way that life works, and you have to then write about that and teach that to other people. And that's one of the things, you know, I hope that you recognize that I try to do on this YouTube channel, is that I try to do that, right? Everything that I tell you is not my own original idea, but it's filtered through myself, right? If something doesn't jive, doesn't make sense, I'm not going to tell you that something's correct just because someone else said it was, right? It's all going to be my own personal philosophy in life. So to get back to the question, right? Do you have to follow your teacher? Do you have to follow your boss, right? Do you have to follow your mentor and what they say in order to be successful? No, you don't, but you should be taking in counsel. Ultimately, you want to take in all of the things that you learn, all the things you read from books, all the philosophy, all the videos that I do here, any of those things, and you don't want to prop anyone up and say, oh, this person is my guru, this person, they get it and they understand it and everything they say is absolutely correct. No, you want to take all that information and you want to put it through yourself, your own filter, and develop your own philosophy in life. And it might contradict, right? At some point, you know, I've definitely come against my mentors, right? Almost every great person, if you think about this too, right, historically, almost every great person, every great sage, right, every wise person has at some point basically gone against their mentor, right? If you look at the history of psychology, right, all these psychologists, you know, Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, all these guys, right, that sort of had this apprenticeship. At one point, they basically learned from their mentor, and then they turned against their mentor, right? Not saying that you should like necessarily turn against your mentor, but the point is that they differentiated their thinking. They learned from this person, and then they differentiated their thinking. If you look at you know, Aristotle and Socrates and Plato, right? These guys, right? This is a succession of students. A lot of the things that Aristotle said, they contradicted what Socrates said. A lot of the things that Plato said, right, contradicted both of those. So there's always this this concept of when you're starting out, you know, you take mentorship, you learn from people, you learn from your teachers, your bosses, whatever it is, right? But then at some point you have to break away and you have to become free, and I would encourage you to do that sooner than later. And I would encourage you to, just from the beginning, to be taking in knowledge, to be taking in wisdom, to be taking in counsel, but always filtering it through yourself, always making yourself the final arbiter of what your philosophy in life is, because you're the one who has to live with yourself, right? And your success, at least as I define it, will be judged not by what other people think of you or what you achieve from a monetary or fiscal standpoint, but ultimately by your own ability to achieve your own potential. And the only way that you're going to achieve your own potential in life is if you are the one who's in charge of that. If you tell someone, if someone else tells you what that is going to be and what those standards are going to be, then you're going to be living their dream. You're going to be living up to their potential or their vision of you, not your own. All right, that's all I got for you today. If you like this video, if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of the videos I'm doing as I'm traveling the world here for the next couple of months, make sure you click that subscribe button and make sure you click the bell so you don't miss any of these videos that I do, because I'm going to be doing some videos from some pretty cool cities here in Europe on my trip here. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.